All right, I was about to dial out and go, finish this mission here in Arkham City, and I was just scrolling down and I saw this comment. This is a comment of Xbox throwing revenue away, or supposedly will just throw their revenue away. They make a very solid point, actually, in this particular instance. There's no doubt about that, and I'll show you where I think this is coming from. This user said Xbox can have its cake and eat it too, literally. It can sell games on PlayStation, Switch, and PC, but it can also court developers to support its own cross-platform digital storefront. Is it doing that? No. Well, how did you come about that answer? No. How'd you come about that answer? You said, I can't buy Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Monster Hunter Wilds, Civilization 7, Red Dead Redemption 2, and hundreds of other extremely popular games unless I'm on Xbox console, a platform which is dead. How did you come about that conclusion? Or use Steam? Why not have Xbox create a store that developers support like Epic, Good Old Games, but have it on PC? So many games skip Xbox and Xbox doesn't even care. They just send their customers to Steam and surrender a third of their revenue to a server farm owner. Inconceivable. Have you never heard of the Xbox app before? Right? Here it is. And crazy enough, developers and their support for the Xbox app has been really, really sparse because of Xbox themselves. They always, and this is their fault, they chose to try to prioritize the Xbox console as their premium gaming experience. This has been my biggest criticism of them, that they did not make the moves fast enough to PC, but now that it's financially expedient, they're doing it. You understand? So I can basically, whatever you're saying right now, right? It makes sense, but many of the Xbox gamers were satisfied to be on the Xbox storefront. The one thing that you said that is out of pocket is that the Xbox platform in the console side is dead. It's not. They're still supporting their consoles from the Xbox One. So that 58 million console users from Xbox One kind of body that statement into the gutter. So throw that thing away. Let's talk about the PC storefront and how it has been lacking for a number of years. So what are they doing in this particular paradigm? Well, they've already started giving, a huge amount of discounts. In fact, telling their, third-party developers, hey, you only got to pay 12% when you come over here. You just asked, right? Why can't they do it like Epic Games? You just said that. Why can't they create a storefront like Epic Games, right? They're doing exactly the same thing. They're telling the developers and saying, hey, come out here and go ahead and, we'll give you 20, we'll give you, we'll only let you only pay 12%. You said, or Good Old Games or Steam. Now, this is where you kind of, in a sense, singed your argument again. Do you know how many games don't go on Good Old Games? I mean, like, do you know the ratio of games compared to the Xbox store that do not go on Good Old Games? Because I don't know if you've looked at Good Old Games in terms of, like, the newer titles, because their games are DRM free. So they already have a niche to them. Xbox's niche is the Play Anywhere feature that says, if our own Xbox gamers decide that they want to go anywhere else, they don't have the need to lose their library. They could just take their library where they want to go. So again, everyone's doing their business and is trying to pretty much find, this middle ground that they already sit in, right? So Xbox being so massive and is looking at the console and saying, we just need to use the console as an additive measure, and it's no longer like this, the main central focus of our business. It is a significant part of their business. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they got like 70 million Xbox consoles that they're actually supporting. The Series S, X, and Xbox One consoles. They are supporting these consoles actively, right? But they need to grow their business, so they've decided and finally realized, oh crap, we're going to wake up our PC side. That's why they're adding these features. In fact, the most recent patch that they're going to add very soon is supposed to be able to filter games through Play Anywhere. Do you know what that does to developers? It's actually a pressure tactic. As crazy as it sounds, they're going to start looking and going like, man, what do we have to do to get our games to Play Anywhere? All you got to do is just put that Steam version on here. That's literally all you got to do. And so wherever a person buys the game from, that's where their profit sharing is going to pretty much come from. But the player still gets the benefit. So whether or not they give Xbox 30% or they give Xbox 12%, still works for them. Just like Epic Games is taking, I think, 12 or 18%. So a lot of people don't really even know what Xbox is doing with all of this stuff. And yeah, as your criticism was basically part ways on point, it missed out on some of those other things that Xbox is now doing to remedy that error that they made by leaving the PC side pretty much almost redundant. This is why I've told a lot of Xbox gamers, I've said, you don't realize it. And this is why I argue with Dark1985 every time. I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, the console experience has been the premier experience for the Xbox. They really have kind of like kept the PC side at bay for some strange reason. I don't know why. And I always looked and laughed and said, what a missed opportunity. But now they're opening it. That's why I'm making 20, 30 videos going, aha, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they're doing it in a way that is here to serve their own customers. So not only are they doing it on a PC store now, they're bringing the entire thing. Just say, you know what? Why don't we just give you Windows? And while you're on Windows, we'll sort out the rest with these developers. It's a radical tactic at the end of the day. They're not going to sit there and wait and say, oh, yeah, you know, when we're able to get all the developers to start bringing their games, because these developers, I don't know what's up with them. Truly, they be spazzing, in my opinion. For instance, let me give you some crazy examples. I don't know what the agreements are. Warner Brothers, a very, very strange developer on Xbox, especially on the PC or the console side. In some cases, Warner Brothers will launch a game that's play anywhere. It doesn't matter the genre. For instance, let me see if I can even find the developer more. If I go to more, Warner Brothers Interactive is the name or whatever it is. I don't know. If I find it, you'll see. Right? This is them. Warner Brothers, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't let you do that. A very weird interface. But I'll just tell you the short and sweet. I have a lot of their games, right? Gotham Knights, play anywhere. Mortal Kombat 11, play anywhere. Middle-earth, Shadow of Middle-earth. I think they have both Middle-earth games here. They even have them on Game Pass. Shadow of War, this is play anywhere. Shadow of Mordor, I don't even think it's play anywhere. Is it play anywhere? Hold on. Shadow of Mordor. Do they even have Shadow of Mordor here? They don't even have Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. Let me see. Middle-earth Shadow. No. They only got Shadow of War. There's no Shadow of Mordor anywhere that I can see. If it's here, somebody tell me. I can't find it anywhere. Right? And then MK1, Mortal Kombat 1, it's not play anywhere. Hogwarts Legacy doesn't even exist on this platform. You see what I mean? So the publishers are pretty much all over the place. In fact, it wasn't until after, for some strange reason, Square Enix is one of the more up-to-date developers on here. What, right? Then you got people like Capcom. Another really weird one. If you look through the Resident Evil catalog on here from Capcom, you're going to see Resident Evil 2, you're going to see Resident Evil 3, you're going to see Resident Evil 7, you're going to see Resident Evil whatever, but there is no Resident Evil 4. I don't know why there's no Resident Evil 4 on here. So working with these publishers and doing this whole thing, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's based on. I don't know what's going on, but I think Xbox needs to go ahead and basically solidify this piece of its business and probably just streamline everything for its devs. Like you submit a build and they have a team on the back end, or they have something on the back end, or a process where once that build goes through, it takes care of the job for the PC and the console side. Or, again, you got to submit multiple builds, or to just say, you know what, just submit us your regular builds that you have for PC with your PC requirements and everything. Just give it to us and we'll take care of it. They need to start getting into that piece of the puzzle. Many people don't realize that the reason Steam has basically everybody on here is because they have a huge developer side to their business in terms of Steam as a whole, and they have to focus on one platform. Right? And PC development with Steam is a lot more flexible than anything else. Xbox just has this rigidity that it's bringing from the console side. That's what I think has also basically been slowing down their propagation. But if they open this bad boy up and make it be like what's called Steamworks, I don't know if many of you know what that is. That's a developer portal. Then you're going to see pretty much every developer bringing their game to Xbox's ecosystem. So this conversation actually is not really it's more of a internal problem with Xbox that they need to solve. And I think that this measure is designed to solve it. That's what I think. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They just want to sell their games, right? They just want to sell their games. So if you're going to bring a game to Xbox, the console, they already are incentivizing you and saying that play anywhere is the standard here. All our games are play anywhere. Gamers are now looking to buy games that are play anywhere. You need to think about putting your game as play anywhere. Once that game becomes play anywhere, it goes to the PC store. And they've already started propagating more and more play anywhere titles. And it's becoming more and more of a thing. Many people are not looking at it. They're just thinking, oh, it's only 1,000 games. But you got to remember, they just did a showcase where pretty much in that showcase, every single game that was actually shown on that showcase was a play anywhere title. That by itself was a statement to the gaming industry like, hey, man, the standard in our ecosystem is now going to be play anywhere. And they're courting developers. Again, there was a GDC presentation where they were showing, cloud streaming and the Pi and who all is using the different methodologies to play their games. They're doing the work. It's just that they never get much credit in the media. Nobody really credits them, for doing anything. They're always the bad guy, which is so strange to me that I can see the things that they're doing and how they look like how Steam has been doing business for a long time. And somehow they just constantly get castigated. And just like you just threw them under the bus, but you didn't pay attention to the fact that they're working to get this stuff done. And I'm not saying, maybe you didn't know, but the media is not really writing much about this stuff, right? It's just the catch stuff, the easy pickings that they want to write about. But really, the ground game is going on. And developers are hopping on board with this stuff, man. And that's why we're seeing it here. Just go look. Look at the most recent titles to have launched on Xbox, especially Game Pass. In fact, the anomaly is the non-play anywhere titles, especially with the Game Pass titles. I think Wu Chang was the one everybody was like, why is it not play anywhere? Let's look at Game Pass. Let's look at the new releases from Game Pass. This has come into Game Pass. This game's not been on Game Pass? Interesting. I didn't know that the first Tomb Raider was not on Game Pass. Let's look at Expedition 33. I mean, hold on. Yeah, every single one so far that we've seen, Doom: The Dark Ages, play anywhere. Even the third party, Expedition 33, play anywhere. Let's go ahead and look at it. Here it is. Play anywhere. Wolong, which was in 2023. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Let's look for that. Where is it? Play anywhere? Yep. That has now become the standard. Expedition 33, play anywhere. Yeah, Final Fantasy, the new one that came out, but that's not on Game Pass. All the Xbox games are play anywhere. Let me see the other one. Sniper Elite, Resistance, play anywhere. Atomfall, play anywhere. So again, you need to be watching the work that they're doing because this is how they move in silence. And with all the negativity, you won't see them. And then all of a sudden, they'll spring up something. And then people start running like chickens, with their heads cut off. Not paying attention that this is a gradual process, but has now become a process that pretty much is, what other third-party game is coming? I don't know. They have so many first-party games. Ninja Gaiden is a first-party game. So Ninja Gaiden 4 is going to be Xbox Play Anywhere. It already says it here. It's Wu Chang that had a Play Anywhere tag on it, but then it's no longer Play Anywhere. That's the one that's like, what? That was kind of weird, because as far back as Lies of P, right? Lies of P, that's a Play Anywhere title too. So people aren't seeing it, and once the big developers, more and more of them start coming, right? Like Square Enix, more Capcom stuff, you're going to start seeing Play Anywhere as a norm. I think it was what's the Konami game, Silent Hill? The new Silent Hill game, Silent Hill F that's coming out. I think that's Play Anywhere too. Hey, y'all pay attention. Xbox is now leveraging PC now like Steam, because I'm sure Xbox is putting pressure saying, y'all let Steam basically do what they want. They can play the game on their Proton. They can play the game on Windows. How about us? We want to be able to get it too. And developers are saying, okay, they're working. They're doing work. I haven't seen Pragmata. It hasn't gone on. It hasn't gone on sale. And then Dragon Age as well. That did not get Play Anywhere status. But I think you're gonna keep seeing more and more of them. And it doesn't have to be Game Pass games too. But I'm out. Thanks for watching the video, folks. Appreciate your time and audience. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon. I gotta go. Peace out.